Hi guys, in the last video I made for this channel, we talked about the basic anatomy of the human eye. Today, we're going to talk about a specific part of the human eye, which is the cornea. It is the most anterior part of the eye, and it is one of the most vital part as far as vision is concerned. Now, this cornea has very important characteristics. First, it is transparent. Number two, it is avascular. When you say transparent, that means it is it is a medium wherein light can pass through. No, unlike a media that is translucent or opaque like the sclera. It does not allow light to pass through freely. Now, when you say avascular, that means the cornea is devoid of blood vessels. There's no blood vessels or nerves or any obstruction that you can find in the cornea. This is because its main function is number one, it is a refracting media. No, that means it can refract light so that the light that would go through it will be focused on the retina. It is also a transparent media. That means it allows light to get inside the eye so that that light can reach the retina, and when the light reaches the retina, it can now change into a nerve impulse, and the nerve impulse will travel to the optic nerve and into the brain in the visual cortex, wherein sight and vision really occurs. So that's why the cornea is very important. It is both a refracting media, it's the most powerful refracting media of the eye, about 44 diopters, more than 50% of the total refracting power of the eye. And also, it is a transparent media, meaning it allows light to go through. Okay, now the cornea has 5 parts or layers. Okay, this is the first layer is the anterior epithelium. Now the anterior epithelium is the first anteriormost layer of the cornea. Its main characteristic is that it can heal itself very fast. It can regenerate, the cells can regenerate very fast. Mainly because this is the layer that is most exposed to the environment. Most of the time, na ay mga foreign body, no, that will go to the eye, and it can produce some micro scratches. Sometimes when you misuse your contact lenses, that's the layer of the cornea that is most affected. That's why God made it to be very resilient. Number one, it's very strong. Then also, it can regenerate very fast. It heals itself very fast. That's why small micro scratches, no, kanang mapuling ka, can be healed in a matter of hours. There are some deeper scratches, siguro it will take overnight, a day or two, no, before it will heal itself. But generally, it's very strong and it can regenerate very fast. The second layer is the Bowman's layer. Now, the Bowman's layer is actually a limiting membrane. Di yun siya layer lang. Limiting membrane siya. Mura siya coral, no? It limits the other layers of the cornea to spill over to the other layers. Now the Bowman layer is very strong. It's the strongest layer of the cornea, but it cannot regenerate. Meaning, if the injury or the scratch will penetrate the epithelium, and if it reaches the Bowman's layer, usually because it's strong, it cannot injure the Bowman's layer. But if and when it does, ma-injured, ma-scratch siya, that means that scratch will not heal. It will stay with you until you die or until you have your cornea changed, corneal transplant. But otherwise, it will be there. Now, the danger is it can develop into a corneal ulcer, which can lead to blindness. So, again, it's very strong, but the thing is, it cannot regenerate. Now, the third layer of the cornea is the corneal stroma. The corneal stroma is the biggest or the largest layer of the cornea. It is about 90% of the total mass of the cornea. Now, it is its body. The fibers and the organelles, okay, the stuff that is inside this layer is very uniformly aligned. That gives the cornea its transparency. Now, the fourth layer is the Descemet's membrane. It's the limiting membrane also. Now, it's almost the same as the Bowman's layer or Bowman's membrane. The main difference is that it can regenerate, it can heal itself when injured. Now, the fifth is the endothelium. Now, the endothelium is the most posterior layer of the cornea. The main characteristic of this layer is that it is very porous. That means it allows substances to get inside it. Specifically the aqueous humor. Okay, the aqueous humor is the one that supplies nutrients to the anterior parts of the eye, like the lens, the cornea, and all those adjacent parts. So the endothelium allows this liquid, the aqueous humor, to get inside this layer so that it can nourish the rest of the other parts of the cornea. So again, this is the layers of the cornea, and the cornea is one of the most important parts of the eye. Number one, because it is the most powerful refracting media. That means when you take out the cornea, basically you are blind. Okay? Probably you will have light perception na lang. Okay? The second function is the transparency. It is very transparent. That's why it allows light to go through it. So that is the cornea.